know, you make more money and you got more security. In LA County, $300,000. Now, city managers down at the city level are making $150,000, $250,000, $350,000, and $400,000. You know, they're usually on the golf course. And step 7, we've got to repeal Obamacare because it's going to become a health nightmare. I already mentioned about the nightmare part of the Medicare, but you're going to have bureaucrats and boards deciding poor health care, rationing and abortion. European Canadian model that's killing innovation. We're going to be like Europe. $1 trillion entitlement that slashes freedom, and it's something that we cannot afford. And so, yes, we need to have changes in the health care, but this poorly devised program is not it. And one, I believe it's going to be found unconstitutional in the Supreme Court. Because you know what it is? Not only is it taking away freedom by government demanding an individual mandate, but you also have the biggest centralization of power in the history of America. More power put in one secretary, unelected official, than ever before in America's history. It is basically un-American. Let me just show you the example. 1,968 new and expanded secretarial powers. This bureaucracy is beyond comprehension. How somebody in Washington is going to be able to dictate our Medicaid is an impossibility. For them to tell you, part of this plan here, in this little box here, is that your dental hygienist will be told what to do and what not to do. This is crazy, and that's why you find doctors leaving the system. Now, what do we need to do? We need to cut that wasteful spending. We've got to do those 7 things I talked about. And what's going to happen is 2 things. One, you start getting under control the out-of-control economy. The second thing you're going to do is be able to have an economic boom. Right now, we have high unemployment and we have growing inflation. What do you call that? Stagflation. We're entering into an age of stagflation. But that doesn't have to be. What we need to do is have these economic policies turn it around so that we have 5, 7, maybe even 8% economic growth. Now, under Ronald Reagan, only a few of the things I suggested were incorporated. And yet at that time we did have, after some of these deregulations and changes in taxes in the economy, we were able to get 6 and 7% economic growth instead of the measly 1-2% growth that we're finding now. During that time, in '79, there was a 13.9% inflation. Those economic changes brought it down to 4%. There was a 17% unemployment rate. Those changes brought it down to 5%. And when we do these things, we're going to have a housing turnaround. You know, anybody who owns a house here probably feel a little bit trapped because the value of your house is gone. But you know what? We can have a housing turnaround if we get the economy back on track. We got to stabilize the Federal Reserve, make it under control. We got to control, we'll be able to boom with jobs, have new opportunity, and have a technological boom of new innovations like you can't even believe. That is the hope of turning this economy around. Now there's other issues. You know, let's just take real quick, because it's getting late, real quick. We have a reckless foreign policy. I am really worried about the undermining of the sovereignty of the state of Israel. And what has happened with the attacks on Israel, with the monies that we give to the Palestinian Authority that has sworn now with Hamas to be able to wipe out the state of Israel. I am concerned about the issue of, you know, how audacity to tell Israel that they can't have apartment buildings built in their capital of Jerusalem. How would we feel if somebody told us we can't build apartments in Washington, D.C.? And then we take a look, we're broke, and we're spending billions of dollars in Libya. We don't know who the good guys are. We don't know who the bad guys are. We go into Libya spending billions of dollars, and what? We go to the United Nations and NATO. And Congress demands then some accountability, and that we follow the law and have the consent of Congress, and it's ignored. This is the type of insanity that's got to stop. Billions of dollars are sent to dictators. Billions of dollars are sent and wasted in money that goes into Swiss vaults. And you know what? Give you an example, $3 billion. $3 billion is just going to Pakistan. And in Pakistan, somebody of a different faith, somebody became a Christian in Pakistan. They were sentenced to death. This is a mother of 5 with small kids. She could be hanged as we're talking right now because she won't reject her new faith. And we give them money and don't say a thing. That's moral bankruptcy. Yeah. And this is what we have going on. Then we have the assault on individual liberty. You know, in December, despite the fact that Congress told the FCC, the Federal Communications Commission, no to something called net neutrality. And a judge said no to net neutrality. They imposed net neutrality, which is the first step in controlling the internet. And the internet is under attack. President Obama and many wanted to have the kill switch on the internet. And that was the big thing until Mubarak in Egypt put the kill switch in Egypt, and then all of a sudden Obama's quiet. But we've got to have people who are going to protect the internet. And the fairness doctrine is that one of those doctrines in one of the many ways the FCC is trying to control the radio. The centralization of power is taking away individual liberty. Your freedom's gone when big government gets bigger. You have fewer choices. And the audacity of these politicians.